Chapter 3, Served with Love. Hopefully you're all having a great day. It's the second day of filming in New Orleans, and you and the entire crew have been kicked out of the restaurant by its owner. You shouldn't have come near my mom's recipes. I'm done with the show. Carl, wait. Please, hear us out. We have a contract. You can't just... The front door slams, cutting off the rest of your words. Zara swirls around, glaring at you and Everett. What the hell happened? We were this close to a tearful family heart-to-heart for the episode. He got up in arms about us using his family recipes. It's about his mother. He's triggered by any mention of her. By blocking her out, he doesn't have to confront his grief. It's ridiculous. Is he going to pretend she never existed? Zara scoffs, pinching the bridge of her nose in frustration. I'm going to call the production office and see what we can do. In the meantime, you two... She snaps her fingers, calling for the cameraman to start recording him. Figure this out. We need to finish the episode. If we don't get a celebratory reopening party by the end of this week, the network will be on our backs. She heads off, and you turn them back to Everett. Hold you aware that the cameras are capturing your every move. We're already partway through this makeover of this restaurant. I hope we don't have to throw it all away over a misunderstanding. He's the one trying to throw it all away. The recipes are solid. Any other place in town would trip over itself to have it. Glance over sidelong at the cameras and pull Everett aside, speaking in low tones. If we want to finish our work here, we need to look at it from Carl's perspective. We need to connect with him on a personal level. Let him know how important the episode is. Personal level. Clearly he's grieving much harder than we know. And we didn't know the recipes would be such a sore spot for him. We need to learn his history and show him that we care about him. Not just remodeling the restaurant and finishing the episode. You may be right. I've been so focused on the food, but it's not really what it's all about for him at all. Regardless of what we say, if he still doesn't want us to use the recipes after that, well, then we need to respect that. I hope he listens to us, though. Whether or not we can use those dishes, he's stifling all memories of her. That can't be a healthy way to live. Edward sighs deeply. Okay, let's finish dealing with the emotions so we can get back to the kitchen. Without hesitation, Everett strides past the cameras and knocks on the front door. After a moment, the door cracks open and a furious-looking Carl pokes his head through. Did I stutter? Every last one of you needs to leave. We're sorry about what happened, Carl. Can we talk? He eyes the cameras. The crew huddle over under the shade of the sidewalk and finally over the pair of you. I don't need your help. Oh, you're right. You don't need us. You've proved that with every hard time you've weathered with this restaurant. Let us explain. Carl, no cameras, just us. With a sigh of resignation, Carl props open the door and ushers you inside. Carl turns to face you, leaning against the counter warily. So, what do you have to say? I admit I was out of line. I apologize for pushing too hard. That's a star? We're sorry for using the recipes without consulting you first. We got carried away with the excitement and had your sister's blessing. We'd like to hear your story, from your point of view. If you're willing to share it, we want to better understand what you've gone through. What I've gone through? Clenches his fist and slams it on the bar top. Have you ever seen the illness eat away at someone slowly until they were emaciated and gaunt and just barely holding on? Yep, every time I look in the mirror. And nothing, not even a dish of their favorite food made with love could bring them back or bring them into comfort. He wavers and sits down upon one of the bar stools as though needing the support, his eyes wide in surprise at his own words. Carl... Recipes must remind you of her and the pain. Sounds like you loved her so much. The loss must be difficult, especially on top of trying to run a business and survive. Carl nods slowly, his eyes watering. There'll always be gaping hole there. Trying better to cover it and keep busy than open the wound again. Glance back over at Everett, who's listening to Carl carefully, as though turning something over in his mind. To his surprise, his gaze softens. Grief looks different to everyone. but I've found that leaning into it is a lot more cathartic than running from it. How do you figure? Grief is a constant reminder of what you miss about a person. When you channel those feelings into something like a restaurant, you're keeping your memories of that love alive. Sounds like you're speaking from experience. I'm speaking of food. And how to make it go beyond the plate. We know that your mother means a lot to you, Carl, and we don't want to make you do anything that you don't want to do. We just want you to know that we hoped to honor her memory by putting a new spin on her recipes, because your mom's worth celebrating. She's been at the heart of the restaurant since day one. It's such a part of your story, the love you have for your mom. When a customer walks through these doors, maybe they should be able to feel that love too. I always said we should give more than we receive. And that's what people love about comfort food and soul food. Dishes made with that much thought and care make you feel at home. Hush Puppies could bring that feeling to life by bringing back and repurposing your mom's dishes. He looks between the two of you in his restaurant, thinking over your words. Look, I get what you're both trying to do, and I appreciate it, but I'm not ready to use her recipes just yet. We understand. But I am ready to get back on the show. My mom didn't raise a quitter, and I asked for your help, so we're gonna finish saving this joint however else we can. Emmett permits a rare smile. You heard the man, let's get started. You quickly inform the crew, and that filming can resume, finally allowing yourself a sigh of relief that everything picks up where it left off. As the cameras get some B-roll of Carl editing the menu, you turn to look at Everett, who catches you staring. What? You were really able to tap into what was bothering Carl, and you even opened up to him. I got him to see reasons so we could get back in the kitchen on track. That's all. Right. Everett rolls his eyes, but his lips curl into a half-smile just then Zora bustles over to the two of you. Looks like the show's back on the road. Yep, you're welcome. Aren't you supposed to be the producer or some shit? I don't know. This little delay might have thrown a wrench into the shooting schedule, but it's not too late to pivot and add some new show-stopping scene. Meaning? I want to see another two of you developing a new dish for the menu. Don't let me down. Zara walks off happily, giving orders as she goes. She's not wrong. We should make a peace offering dish, something tried and true that incorporates Carl's favorite flavors, without using his mom's recipes, and then he'll know we're really on his side. Push the menu over the edge to be truly great. You and Everett look knowingly at each other, your imaginations running wild with all the possibilities of what you could make, energy crackling between you. Create a new dish! Let's go. Develop a new dish with Everett. I like his rose tattoo. It's kind of pretty. I've thought about getting some, but Let's make a dish that'll have everyone talking. Good. Follow me. Alright everyone, reminder, we didn't get a full heart-to-heart with Carl since he's still closed up. So I want this to be a poignant scene. If you relate to Carl's story, I want to hear about it here. You see Everett roll his eyes again, but once filming commences, he doesn't miss a beat, pulling ingredients from the fridge and pantry and laying them out across the counter. Alright, we have to pull out all the stops. This is our chance to prove to Carl that he's right to trust us. We're gonna make smothered okra with sausage and shrimp. Sounds humble, but the stew is perfect explosion of flavor when done right. So, Chef, what do you need me to do? Everett hands you some garlic and onion, his fingertips accidentally brushing yours. Get started with the base. You'll need to get the sausages and chop it up with onions and garlic. Roast them in the oven for about 8 minutes. We'll add it all to the sauce, okra near the end. Got it. You get to work, heading for the fridge, finding the newly made links of andouille sausage. The smokiness should complement the flavors nicely. You return to cutting board, dancing around Everett as you navigate around each other in the kitchen. You glance over at him, smiling at the way he prepares the ingredients like it's second nature. Give me something. Make conversation. So, Everett, did you make dishes like this back at home? He raises an eyebrow and responds, I only mean that you knew what to do in the second we stepped in the kitchen. I pulled inspiration from a traditional stew. Carl mentioned it to me that it was one of his favorite dishes. When I'm cooking for myself, though, I tend to pull from St. Lucian flavors if I'm in a rut. The food you ate as a kid sticks with you the most. Everett tips the chopped okra and tomatoes into the hot cast iron skillet, starting the stir fry while you put the chopped ingredients into the oven. I'm glad Carl came around and accepted our help. What you said to him about grief seemed to get really through to him. I recognized what he was going through. You glance at him, treading carefully. Meanwhile, Zara beckons at the two of you. Good, more on this topic. Did you lose someone, too, Everett? Pain can build a wall between you and your passion. You can't break it down if you don't confront it directly. This is true. Sure, that doesn't answer my question, though. He pushes a pair of oven mitts into your hands. Check the vegetables, we don't want them charred. Admonished, you take the perfectly roasted vegetables out of the oven and season them, preparing them for the stove. But before you can circle back to Everett's past, he clears his throat. What about you? You mean, have I ever lost someone? To be honest, I've lost too many people in my life. Way too many people. Friends, loved ones, and family members. I've lost too many. When I lost my grandma, there were days where I couldn't even get out of bed. But I started to talk to someone about her, and they helped me see that my grandma would have wanted me to get up and keep going. I owed it to myself to keep chasing my dream, and so I did. Everett nods briskly. What we can't do for ourselves, we do for them. You carefully add the roasted vegetables to Everett's frying pan with the okra and tomatoes, giving it a stir. I had a mentor once, one of the greatest chefs of all time. From the restaurant you worked at here in New Orleans? Yeah. Fluffy, it was called. He taught me that if food is made with passion, you can taste it. If we can get Carl back in touch with his passion, then I'd say we're successful here. It's over to Cesar, giving you two thumbs up. Not bad, now finish up the dish. Yeah, we need direction from you. Once the okra is fried up nicely, you stir in the potato paste, homemade chicken stock, and shrimp. Everett reaches over to you to add some more seasoning, and you work together in perfect, peaceful rhythm. When the shrimp is opaque, Everett pulls it off the heat and invites you to give it a taste. Smothered okra with sausage and shrimp, and Nola staple. Nola! The warmth of okra and peppers cuts through the brightness of the stewed tomatoes. It's good, balanced, comforting. The andouille adds a nice kick. But it isn't worthy of being on the menu yet. Maybe I can think of a way to make it sing. You look through the kitchen's pantry, condiments, getting an inspiration for the perfect topping. This will be even more delicious with something acidic, no, spicy. You scoop the stew atop some rice in the bowl, then quickly add a spicy corn salsa to go on top. Everett leans in for a taste. Salsa's a little unorthodox for this kind of dish, but it works. The corn adds a nice texture. Thanks. I figured a little southwestern flair couldn't hurt. Do you think Carl will like it? There's only one way to find out. Everett calls for him to the kitchen's double doors, and within seconds, Carl peeks in. We have one more recipe we'd like you to consider. Carl dips a spoon in the stew, raising it to his lips thoughtfully. Oh, damn, that's good. Where's that kick coming from? A lot of places. Corn salsa with cumin and southwestern chilies. Carl eats in silence for a few moments, closing his eyes as he lets the flavors linger on his taste buds. When he opens his eyes, you realize his eyes are wet. My ma used to make something like this for me, for the family. Oh, no. We're sorry. That's the opposite of what we were trying to do. He shakes his head. No, those were beautiful times. It was the cure-all. If Adele and I was getting into it again, and we had a rough day at school. He puts the spoon down. Thinking about it now, it ain't right for me to hold this remedy back from others who might need some company. It's your choice, Carl. We can't make the decision for you. Only you can. I know. And that's why I'm putting this dish and all my mother's dishes back on the menu. Really? Yeah. Do your thing, add twist to all the recipes. But let's bring some of Ma back to the restaurant. Sounds good, Carl. Thank you for trusting us with those recipes. We don't take that gesture lightly. We'll do right by Bernadette. I'm sure you will. Carl smiles, the exhaustion in his expression giving way to relief. Now, if you don't mind dishing up a few more of the bowls of that, it's almost lunchtime. Carl heads back into the main dining room with a wink, and you can't help but laugh. That man has good taste. Cut! Zara smoothly hops off the director's chair to pat you both on the back. Good work, you two. This scene is going to have people crying in their popcorn seasoning. People use seasoning on popcorn? Oh, no, you need to stop that shit. Listen, extra salt, fine. A little extra butter, fine. No, stop it with everything else. Great, if that's what we're going for. Of course it is. Let's break for lunch, everyone. Maybe this episode won't fully suffer after all. After Zara and the crew leave, you turn to Everett. I can't believe it. The dish moved the needle enough that we got Carl to change his mind. Some people just need an extra push. Sometimes food can provide that. Both you and Everett reach for the ladle at the same time to plate some more servings, shoulders side by side. Oops, sorry. Go ahead. After plating a few more bowls, you look up at Everett. Carl seems so happy. Admit it, we work well together. We have chemistry in the kitchen. Your skills are passable, but don't get ahead of yourself. You still have a lot to learn. Good thing I'm an exceptional student. He looks at you for a moment, and then he tears his gaze away, grabbing another bowl from the cabinet. Go see how the others are doing. Apparently I have a lunch service to prep for. Yes, Chef. Save some for me while you're at it. Later that day, after your lunch break, you head out in the main dining room, spotting Vivian talking to Hudson and a few other builders by the bar, a strained expression on her face. Are you sure you can manage new backsplash tiling and the shelving? I can do it in my sleep. The thing is, Hudson, nobody's working on it yet, and we're only a few days away from relaunch. Are you a helicopter, Vivian? Uh-oh. Because you don't need to hover over here. Good one, Hudson. Oh, for the love, I'm gonna smack your ass, I swear to God. And not in a playful way, either. Lovely. You know what? I'm taking a break. As Vivian steps away to her laptop for a breather, you call Hudson over. Hudson, what was, that about? Oh, hey, Lucy, you look serious. Is it serious? If I kick you in between the legs, is it gonna be serious enough for you? It's about how you talk to Vivian, calling her a helicopter. Oh, that? I was just joking. She can trust us to get the job done without babysitting us is all. I know she has like a million other things to do. Okay, but it didn't come off that way to her. Remember, you're both professionals, act like it. She's the lead designer, so if she asks you a question, you answer it. I told her that we had it handled. Yeah, after being a smartass. She's never worked with you before, so she doesn't know how you communicate. If you have a plan, explain that. Making light of the situation only makes her job harder, or makes it seem like you don't respect her. Around here, we make light of things to get stuff done. You know that, right, Chase? Yeah, work doesn't need to be so uptight. Okay, so you're... we're not even gonna go down this alley. You saw Evelyn go over to Vivian. Are you okay? Yeah, it's just... my fears are basically coming true. What if I never figure out how to lead them? Hudson's being as frustrating as when the drapes end up being the wrong length. When they're too short, or worse, puddle. I hate it. What the hell is puddling curtains? Now, that's very specific, but I feel you. I think. Carl walks up, joining the two of you. How are my renovations going? Vivian brightens up at the question and pulls up a mood board and the floor plan on her laptop, shifting the screen towards you. Well, actually, I have a couple ideas for how I want to finish this remodel. One option is that we just keep it simple. Repair any lingering damage, new coats of paint, that sort of thing. Okay, something tells me that's not the idea you're drawn to. You're right, my main vision is to do something more like this. She opens up a new design on her laptop. That's okay. That's alright. Imagine a remodeled bar, higher ceilings, art and craftsmanship celebrating Carl's family and New Orleans culture. It's the perfect way to make Carl's story a reality. It's you, embodying architecture and design. This will be my place? It's amazing. Looks like I was right to let y'all back in. This would be an amazing showcase during the episode, not to mention make your mark on television. It's just sad too. I love the transitions I make. Hudson comes over, hearing the discussion, his brows raised skeptically. Viv, you're not really gonna go through with that, are you? It's gonna be so much more work for our team. Oh, you know what? You're right. Don't you get paid to do a job? And you're basically, Vivian seems to summon some strength from within her. It's perfectly doable within the time frame we have if we stick to my plan. Besides, nothing worth it ever came easy. Looking startled by her own outburst, she swallows and turns to Carl hopefully. I mean, what do you think, Carl? This is your restaurant after all. I gotta admit that your new design idea really speaks to me. But I'm curious what our culinary producer thinks. Oh, yeah, of course. Hey, I know you're really great in the kitchen, but what do you think about remodeling my whole entire place? Go with Vivian's brighter idea. Or bolder. It's perfect for Hush Puppies, Vivian. The customers and the viewers will love it, and most importantly, the Pooh family will too. I hope so. The minute I walked in here, I had a vision for what it could be. I'm glad you did. I can't wait to see how it all comes together. If you guys are sure. Listen, I'm gonna backhand you if you don't get to work. Let's gather the construction team in a huddle. I want to go over the game plan. As Vivian steps away to talk to the design team, you take one more look around the restaurant, the crew, and the menu. We just might be able to pull this off. I mean, green and white is a hell of a lot better than this pea yellow wall. Several days later, the menu finalized, the restaurant remodeled, and the marketing campaign finished. It's time for the grand reopening! When you arrive at Hush Puppies, it's packed with enthusiastic diners, servers, camera crew, and members of the family rushing around the restaurant before you can dive into the fray. Here's our plucky little culinary producer. I wanted a word with you. What is it, Zara? What is it? You and Everett managed a miracle to get when you got Carl to agree to the new versions of his mom's recipes. Not to mention, as she points around the room, you can see the patrons marveling at the appetizers and the vibrant ambience. The design makeover seems to have captivated the new diners. I'm sensing a but coming. We're still missing some footage, a family heart-to-heart moment. I want a tearjerker during the party. Can you deliver? Jesus Christ, aren't you literally the director and producer of the show? Do your own goddamn job. I'm just a chef. It'll be good to help the family. Don't get sentimental on me. I need you lucid. Save it for the scene, okay? She lightly pushes you into the crowd, right into the vicinity of Carl's sister. Adele pulls you in a hug in front of the cameras. Lucy, you're a miracle worker. All of you. I can't remember the last time I saw my brother so happy. You glance over to where Carl's offering a platter of crawfish mac and cheese to a large table. It's my mom's secret recipe with a few new twists. You've never tasted anything like this before, trust me. I kind of want to taste it right now. You watch as one of the guests dig in, his eyes lighting up with the glee of a very first bite. Damn, I think you just turned yourself a new regular. What a change. Seems Carl needed someone to challenge him so he could look his grief in the face. Well, I'm glad we were able to help, because the crawfish mac and cheese is the best I've ever had. Speaking of which, don't you think it's time you and Carl reconcile? What do you mean? I sense there's a tension there. It's natural that grief pulls people apart, but tonight could be the perfect night to rebuild broken bridges and show you're on the same team. You're right. Carl and I haven't been really on speaking terms on the way we used to be. I'll have a talk with him later, I promise. She grins in response before taking a glass from the bar. She hands you a New Orleans staple. Glass of Chazerac. What the hell is this? Thanks for all you've done. Now go on, enjoy your hard work. The celebration's only getting started. You nod and sidestep your way through the restaurant, hearing the patrons complimenting the food and singing their praises for the cameras. I'll be damned, this smoked okra dish tastes like heaven in a bowl. Sounds like they're all loving the new dish that Everett and I worked on. You search for Vivian and find her at the bar, taking a long sip from her wine. I don't know if I've ever seen a more well-dressed drink. I'm over the moon, Lucy. I hope people would like the makeover, but this is just beyond. She pauses, alternating between wiping her eyes and downing her wine. Sorry, I'm still just amazed that something I put on countless mood boards has managed to come to life. Don't apologize, you knocked it out of the park. You chased your creative vision and helped to put this place back on the map, while you're still keeping the soul of who Carl is. This is exactly why Zara hired you. Thanks for encouraging me to go through with it. I'm so glad we're working together, Lucy. You step out into the muggy night air. It doesn't take long to find Julia surrounded by a circle of people outside the restaurant. She greets you with a cheer. I was telling our new friends about what we've been doing on the business side for the relaunch. I don't know if you saw, but we got a local brass band to record a spot for Hush Puppy on social media. It blew up overnight. Oh, that's incredible. It's actually what brought me in tonight. See you again. It was a good strategy. With New Orleans nightlife, it can be hard to grab locals' attention. I'm glad it worked out. Look at this turnout. NOLA residents is always hungry for homegrown business. What's the plan going forward? Well, we want Hush Puppies to be more involved in community events. It's good for the outreach Carl wants to do, and it's free press. And of course, he'll be making seasonal changes to the menu and maintaining a killer pictogram page. Which should be easy enough, considering how great the place turned out. Julia raises her cocktail glass. Here's to new friends. Here's to the family. This night is all about bringing them together. After all, they've gone through. After all they've gone through? Let's just say the family has been through an ordeal, but they're gonna emerge from it stronger than ever. They've got a powerful origin story, and I'm sure you'll find out. And that what makes Hush Puppies extra unique. There's an origin story, huh? I guess I gotta make sure to tune in the episode to learn more. As another diner catches Julia's attention, the more outspoken guest turns to you. So, this is your first time on the show like this? I'm sorry, you're talking to me? That's right. I have to ask, how did you approach revamping a restaurant with this much baggage? With the launch as successful and the food delicious, clearly tapped into something special here. This is my chance to open up about what truly matters to me. From day one, I knew we needed to get to know Carl on a personal level, learn about his family's origin and history. It's important to know where the food comes from, and even more important to know what recipes developed the way they did. At first, we wanted to focus on the local cuisine, but then we realized food meant something more to Carl. It was more about his connection to his mother. Fast forward to today, and you can see her presence throughout the whole restaurant. Wise words. Will this emphasize on food and history be your philosophy for the rest of the show? I'm gonna go by case study, really. That's the plan, but everyone's different. I want to find out what makes each of our owners tick. The reasons we love mom and pop restaurants isn't just because of the food, it's about their story. I want to help them bring that story to the forefront of every dish so the community can appreciate it too. Don't lose the empathy. I may be only a local foodie, but if every restaurant took such a personal approach, I'd die full and happy. Thank you so very much. You step aside and manage to get a moment alone with Julie out of range of the cameras. Here's our social butterfly. Having fun? Oh, I live for stuff like this. I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm pretty sure you can call the relaunch a success. I've been trying to get at the heart of Carl this whole time. Looks like you managed to get there first. I guess so. All I had to do was listen. Most people want to tell their story as long as there's a listening ear. Seems like presenting him with the smothered okra dish showed me we were paying attention to the kind of soul food that makes him tick. You did your job spectacularly. I doubt our resident charmer Everett could have been able to handle it on his own. She shoots you a smile of fondness visible in the gaze of her hazel green eyes. I hope you're proud of what you've accomplished here, Lucy. I'm starting to be. You return to the restaurant to speak with Carl and find him at a table, hesitantly eating a plate of hush puppies. Hey, Carl, you enjoying your evening?
There are more folks here tonight than in the past few weeks combined. What if they decide they don't want to stay?
You lay a comforting hand on Carl's shoulder. If you ask me, you should give a speech tonight. What better way to thank them for coming out? It's your chance to tell them what Hush Puppy stands for.
You think I'd be able to do that, huh?
I know you can. You're Bernadette's son, aren't you?
That I am.
Carl squares his shoulders resolutely, a little misty-eyed. You see Zora nod at you approvingly behind the cameraman. Oh, thank God I got her approval. Carl climbs onto the chair and calls for everyone's attention.
First, I want to thank y'all for coming out to support us tonight. It's been a tough couple of years, but tonight makes it all worth it. However, there's one thing still missing here at Hush Puppies.
You watch as he slowly turns to mount a photograph on the wall, right at the entrance of the restaurant. That's Bernadette!
I think I really wanted, I called Taste of the World not to help my business, but to help me. Lord knows I'm not good at asking for help directly.
Amen to that! Oh, don't start. The crowd laughs.
I learned a lot about myself during this show, more than I was prepared to at times. Chef Flint and his amazing crew did more to revamp our menu. They helped me realize there's one thing that's important. Not food, decor, even drinks, but my family. I started this restaurant years ago in honor of my mom. She passed away. I felt like I lost a piece of me too. But I realized that she's still here with me, and I'm gonna keep doing right by her, putting her love into everything I do.
He smiles at you, the crew, and everyone in the restaurant before turning to the portrait.
Ma, you're in a front row seat of all the joy you're bringing us. I love you.
The restaurant explodes in a chorus of cheers and applause. Carl wraps his sister in a big hug, whose eyes are almost full of happy tears.
I got the crawfish boil. I got a reminder from Lucy Adams to not take for granted how you've been trying to keep our family together. I love you, sis.
Oh, you big old fool. Look what a mess of the mascara you made.
It's 3 years too late, but better late than never.
Even the onlookers look moved.
I thought I'd only get good meal out of tonight. Seems there was a whole lot more in store.
Lucy, you didn't let me down. Shut up! It's not about you. You turn to find Zara, watching you thoughtfully. With the footage you got, think of all the pieces of the episode will fit together. Thanks, Zara. I'm just doing my best. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Everett off to the side, sipping something amber-colored from a glass. Everett gives you an unreadable look, then lifts his glass to you in acknowledgement. You look out over the buzzing restaurant with a smile, enjoying Carl's pearly white and radiating energy around the whole restaurant and under the kind, watchful eyes of Bernadette's photograph. Later that night, long after the relaunch party has wrapped up, you and Vivian are lounging in your shared hotel room when she suddenly sits up in surprise. We're trending, Lucy. We're trending on Chirper. You're kidding. The show's not even out yet. How? Only the most prominent food critic in all of New Orleans showed up to the relaunch tonight. Look, she posted her review for new Hush Puppies. Vivian jumps onto the bed beside you, holding her phone out for both of you to see. Squint to the article at the author's photo. Oh, so that's why she was asking all the questions. Except she was wearing glasses at the time. Frances Cormier, food critic. Wait, I recognize her. I talked to her back at the restaurant, but she wore glasses and dressed in plainer clothes. And that's a food critic. She must have been wearing a disguise to get in that full experience. Let's see what the reviews say. You skim through an excerpt of the review. Hush Puppy's return is worth the noise, thanks to the help of Everett Flynn and his upcoming show, Taste of the World. One of the French Quarter's hidden gems is about to find its way to the spotlight. During the Friday night relaunch of Hush Puppies, Carl Picou, New Orleans native and owner, told me he was thrilled with the restaurant's new concept. And it shows in everything from the flawless table service, polished and inspired menu that pays homage to the family. The new culinary producer, Lucy Adams, shared that she found success in the restaurant because she focused on the soul and history of the food. A special shout-out goes to the up-and-coming Dominican-American designer, Vivian Hernandez, who created a spellbinding makeover for the restaurant that still preserves that homey flavor you can only find at Hush Puppies. Several dishes, such as Bernadette's mac and cheese, smothered okra stew, and are worth the trip to Hush Puppies alone. I know I'll be back. 5 stars. Yes. You return Vivian's phone in disbelief, filled with pride. Our first review, Vivian, and on opening night, I can't believe it. Me neither, especially the fact she mentioned both of us in her review. Probably because of diamonds. She turns back to the TV, flipping through the channels excitedly. Maybe local news is covering it too. Vivian changes the channel and lands on a nightly talk show. It stops your bright mood dead in its tracks. That's Anton, isn't it? Oh no. The live studio audience applauds as Anton Duval, international superstar chef, nods towards the cameras halfway through an answer to one of the host's questions. Last year was a busy one for me. I opened several new restaurants, won the competitions, the Knife's Edge. Your rivalry with Everett Flint was notorious on the show. Would you be able to comment on that? Anton waves his hand dismissively. Some people can't accept defeat, unfortunately. Fortunately for me, I've moved on to greater things. If you thought last year was something, you'll be blown away by what I have in works this year. Oh really? Can you give us a little taste of what's in store? I can't share the details now, but I do have a big secret project that's going to have everyone talking. You and Vivian exchange a concerned look. A secret project? Everett won't be happy to hear about this. Definitely not. Everett's making a comeback after his feud with Anton. Anton's making another big career move at the same time. I can already see the media pitting them against each other again, hoping for a part 2. You turn back to the TV screen, seeing Anton's smug smile. An unsettling feeling grows in your stomach when you think about what this could mean for the show. Let them. If they want to give our show even more press, bring it on. 2 out of 10 recipes. We didn't get any recipes in this one. Oh well. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Much love and appreciation. Love you beautiful faces. And roll out. It's time for a talk. So first and foremost, quickly about what happened during the thing with Vivian and the 2 guys. See, I don't even remember their name. That's how much I don't give a shit about them. Anyway, so I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna be super short about this. Guys like to keep things simple, right? And they also like to make analogies, or at least not every single one of them, but some of them. And again, I'm not blowing or kind of like giving them a pass. You heard my retorts during the episode, you know. Clearly, I'm not giving them a pass. What I'm saying is everybody needs to treat everyone professionally. And then over time, that professionalism kind of like It's kind of like a coat. Gets a little warm, you take it off. You're still dressed appropriately, but you're more down to home. Okay? And people get to learn your sense of humor or whatnot, and they're like, "Oh, haha," people like that. Guys, it comes more naturally, and we like literally we can sit there for a couple hours, and then we're joking like that, if not a few minutes for some people that are more easier, and then for people like me, yeah, no, it never comes. Because I'm not much of a socially outgoing person. I know that may be a shock to you. Here you're like, "Oh, you do YouTube videos and you do all these voices and you..." Yeah, no, listen, that's because it's the anonymity of the internet, okay? Um, and that I've slowly come out of my shell over the years. But no, still, I'm like a little turtle anywhere else that I'm not comfortable with, and clearly I'm comfortable in my own home, in front of my own computer doing this content, except for the garbage books. But moving on. Yeah, no. So basically today is Monday. I was today's like day 1 of 3 that I had to go out and early this morning and get a bunch of tests and do stuff. And yeah, no, then I got more tomorrow, and then I got some big stuff coming Wednesday, so stay tuned for all that. But yeah, without further ado, love you beautiful faces, and I'll catch you all later. Peace out.